Good morning, dear students. Today I am going to revise from same chapter, chapter 5, the Constitution of India. Okay? About directive principles of state policy. In part 4 of the Constitution, the directive principles of state policies aims to make India a welfare state. And therefore, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar calls the directive principles as the Indian Constitution's noble feature. The principles of the directive are inherently unjustifiable, that is, they are not enforceable for their violation by the courts. Okay? And their usefulness, however, lies in their moral obligation to apply these principles to the state in making laws. As such, the principles of the directive are fundamental to the country's governance. Okay? The Constitution of India includes certain principles and ideals which the government of the day should follow and aim to achieve. These guiding principles are called the directive principles of state policy. These principles are essentially the directive or guidelines for the government while framing policies for the welfare of the people. The directive principles are mentioned in part 4, already explained to you, of our constitution within articles 36 to 51, and they were taken from the Irish constitution. And the directive principles include, principles promoting economic equality. The state should distribute the wealth in such a way that, wealth is not concentrated in a few hands. There should be equal pay for equal work for both men and women. Women and children should not be forced by economic necessity to enter jobs and vocations not suited to their age of strength. This directs the government to provide adequate means of livelihood for all the citizens, equally distribute the wealth and resources of the country among all the citizens. Already told you that give equal pay to equal work to both men and women, provide public assistance to the aged, sick and the differently abled people. Okay? Then after Gandhian principles, some ideas were of Mahatma Gandhi. As a part of the directive principles, they suggest the government to Mahatma Gandhi, who fought, tooth and nail, sense violence for India's freedom, adhered to 6 principles in life, that is truth, non-violence, vegetarianism, brahmacharya, simplicity and faith. Okay? Provide free and compulsory education to children up to the age of 14. Then after, protect the children and youth from any kind of exploitation. Improve health and nutritional level of the people. Promote the weaker sections like the scheduled castes, the scheduled tribes, etc. Prevent the slaughter of animals and promote animal husbandry. And prohibit the consumption of drugs that are injurious to health. Then after, general principles, are those principles without which no legal system can function at all. General principles are mostly derived from domestic law. The legal systems of civilized states, however, they may also derive from natural law and justice, or even from international law. These principles suggest the government to set up a uniform civil code in the country, preserve and improve the environment, protect the monuments and other objects of national importance, and promote international peace. Then after, the preamble. Actually, the preamble is the introduction to the Constitution of India. The preamble to the Constitution of India is a brief introductory statement that set out guidelines which guide the people of the nation and to present the principles of the Constitution and to indicate the source from which the document derives its authority and meaning. It is like preface of our Constitution. In December 1976, the preamble was amended by adding the words socialist, secular, and integrity. The present day preamble reads as, "We the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation." In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves these constitutions. Fundamental rights. The Constitution of India guarantees some basic right to the citizens of India, and these are called fundamental rights. These rights are called fundamental because they are necessary for the well-being of the citizens and their dignity. The fundamental rights are vital for social progress as well as for the smooth functioning of a democracy. While exercising our fundamental rights, we should not infringe the fundamental rights of other citizens. Fundamental rights cannot be exercised at all times. In case of war, emergency, extreme crisis, etc., they remain suspended. Okay? Following are the fundamental rights. The right to equality. The right to equality includes equality before the law, the prohibition of discrimination on grounds of religion, race, caste, sexual orientation, gender or gender identity and or place of birth, equality of opportunity in matters of employment, the abolition of untouchability and abolition of titles. Then after number 2, the right to freedom includes freedom of speech and expression, assembly, association or union or cooperative movement, residence and right to practice any profession or occupation. Okay. Then after, right against exploitation. The right against exploitations prohibit all forms of forced labor, child labor and trafficking of human beings. Children under age of 14 are not allowed to work. Okay. Then after, the right to freedom of religion include freedom of conscience and free profession, practice and propagation of religion, freedom to manage religious affairs, freedom from certain taxes and freedom from religious instructions in certain educational institutes. Then after, the cultural and educational rights preserve the right of any section of citizens to conserve their culture, language or script, and right of minorities to establish and administer educational institutions of their choice. Then after, the right to constitutional remedies is present for enforcement of fundamental rights. Okay. The right to privacy is an intrinsic part of Article 21, the right to freedom that protects the life and liberty of the citizens. Fundamental duties. Since we enjoy the fundamental rights, all Indian citizens need to perform some basic duties toward the state or country. These duties are called fundamental duties. Rights and duties are like two sides of a coin, The fundamental duties are abide by the Constitution and respect national flag and national anthem, follow ideals of the freedom struggle, protect sovereignty and integrity of India, defend the country and render national services when called upon, spirit of common brotherhood, preserve composite culture, preserve natural environment, develop scientific temper, safeguard public property, strive for excellence, and duty for all parents and guardians to send their children in the age group of 6 to 14 years to school. Thank you, students. It's all for today.